Hello everyone, quick thing. Today's videos for you guys, or click the link below to take your personal data off the market. Thank you again to Incogni. Now, back to the show.
Only Zil in chat.
On the evening of March 9th, 2001, in the small village of Rotenburg, Germany, a man lies deceased in a bathtub. He's been here for 3 hours and is lying in a pool of his own blood. His reproductive organs are gone. His throat is wide open. And needless to say, this scene is absolutely revolting. Appealing to some of the most depraved types of people out there were a myriad of websites centering on very specific fetishes and interests, and the one that rose to mainstream prominence during the early 2000s was named none other than Cannibal Cafe. It appealed to, well, cannibals, those who legitimately desired to consume other human beings. And what festered here was a cesspool of pedophilia and vorophilia that went unchecked for years. Of course, the website staunchly claims that everything posted here is all fantasy. But is it really? In early 2001, a man going by nothing more than Frankie makes numerous posts to the Cannibal Cafe. He's searching for what he calls a young slaughter boy and has a peculiar request. I'm searching for a young boy between 18 and 25 years old. If you have a normal body, I'll butcher you and eat your flesh. It was a disturbingly simple, to-the-point inquiry, and this post sat here, floating in the vast ocean that is the internet, for days.
What the fuck?
As Frankie's post garnered slivers of attention, willing volunteers trickled in.
What?
When it really came down to it, though, all of them ended up backing out. But there was one that didn't. A computer engineer named Leonard Brandis expresses to Frankie that he has a very specific fetish. It isn't for consuming others, but for the exact opposite. He wants to be consumed, and he wants Frankie to be the one to do it to him. Over the next few days, the two exchange contact information by email, and it's here where Brandis learns that the name Frankie is nothing but an alias. This man's real name is Armin Mavis, and he's ready to meet as soon as possible.
What the fuck?
It's the night of March 9th, and Brandis is on his way to Armin's home. It's unclear what exactly is on his mind, and if he even knows what's coming. However, after arriving at his residence, Brandis opens with an interesting request.
What's that we're watching this? It's just a video about scary internet stuff and reports and whatnot, and stories and whatever. Dark lost media on the internet.
He wants to have his reproductive appendage bit off and eaten, and so, complying, Mivus gives his wish a try, however is unsuccessful due to its chewiness. Resultingly, he cuts it off and throws it in a frying pan with various marinades and seasonings. However, after all of his effort, ends up burning it to the point where it's entirely inedible.
Jesus fuck, dude! Wait, this one is actually kinda busted.
Growing weak and losing blood, Mivus escorts him to his bathroom, and over the next few minutes, places him inside the tub, feeds him a cocktail of painkillers and alcohol, slits his throat, and kisses him on the forehead as the life of Bernd Brandis fades before his eyes. 3 hours Brandis sits here as Mivus reads a Star Trek novel to pass the time. And bafflingly, during this entire fiasco, not a single thing was done without anyone's consent.
Yo?
Over the next few days, Armin Mivus dismembers Bernd Brandis, storing his remains in his deep freezer with nothing more than some frozen pizzas and a dead rat. Meanwhile, every single thing he's doing and has done to him is being filmed by a camera he's had on hand the entire time. All of it is documented and all of it immortalized onto one single VHS tape. Over the next 10 months, Armin consumes over 44 pounds of Bernd Brandis' flesh, taking out and cooking his body parts whenever he desired them. With this, he takes to the Cannibal Cafe to boast in explicit detail about his actions. However, it's here where Armin finally finds himself on the receiving end of trouble. By December of 2002, another member of the Cannibal Cafe reports numerous, explicitly detailed posts by Frankie to authorities, prompting a raid of his home. There, police discover numerous body parts in a single 4-hour videotape depicting the murder and dismemberment of Bernd Brandis. Because of their discovery, Armin Mivus was immediately apprehended. However, his charges were some that authorities had no specific laws on prosecuting. Bernd Brandis, throughout this entire ordeal, was willing, which only brought considerable confusion and media attention to this case. Nevertheless, Armin Mivus ended up with a conviction of murder and claimed that he'd done it out of sexual gratification. Today, he remains incarcerated in Frankfurt, Germany, and will, for the rest of his life, remain behind bars.
Alright. Well, I guess that could be used as like case law for other similar possible things, right?
The tape that Armin filmed during his night with Bernd Brandis has never seen the light of day outside the courtroom during his trial. Considered to be too gruesome to show to the general public, the world is left to speculate on its contents, filling in the blanks from the official story given during his testimony. To be honest, I don't quite know how to feel about this entire dilemma, as Bernd Brandis wanted all of this. He wasn't murdered against his will, but...
No, doesn't matter. Okay, here's an actual, I think, good take. It doesn't matter because they can't evaluate his current mental state and whatnot. And at the time, brother, there's a lot that comes into this. And just saying, oh yeah, but give me consent. That doesn't matter though. It is how it is.
He was still murdered. Nevertheless, Armin Meiwes is a depraved man. A man who created a situation that never should have happened. And because of his actions on that fateful night, one of the darkest lost media cases out there, needlessly, was born.
Because I guess you could equate this to like assisted suicide, possibly, right? And then it's like, well, dude, in times where things are like that, there needs to be a lot of approvals, a lot of checks, and a bunch of things, and things weren't done like that. Therefore, it's just murder. That's how it is.
It's late at night, and 18-year-old Kathleen Allen and her boyfriend Michael Carroll are spending time in a motel room in which they're living. On this day, nothing is awry, and to some could even be considered painstakingly ordinary. At 10 p.m., Michael vaguely claims that he has to go do something and leaves after assuring her that he'd return in the morning. And so, Kathleen goes to bed, and her night comes to an end. It's morning, and Michael Carroll is nowhere to be found. Regardless, Kathleen doesn't think too much of it and goes about her life and work as usual. 3 days later, while at work, however, she receives a It's a man, and he knows where Michael's located. He claims that he was involved in a shooting and wouldn't be coming home. Shocked, Kathleen informs her boss that she needs to leave, and given the circumstances, she's given permission to do so. A few moments later, she's seen running out into the parking lot, where a bearded man approaches her. The two reportedly engage in conversation before she ends up jumping in his car. Soon after, the man joins her in the vehicle, and it speeds off, never to be seen again.
Oh, it's like the fucking Breaking Bad bait.
This is the last time that Kathleen Allen was ever seen in public alive.
You know the RV? What where he calls about the wife and whatnot? I think it's a good reference. What? I think it's a good. It's a pretty good analogy.
Don't go on this, we're going to be taking that tight
On October 29, 1945, a man named Leonard Lake was born in San Francisco, California. Being regarded a bright kid, his early years were relatively unsuspecting. When he turned 6 years old, however, his parents had separated, to which Lake and his siblings would move in with their grandmother. Bizarrely, Lake began to exhibit disturbing habits. On numerous occasions, he was caught photographing his sister's nude. He'd collect mice and dissolve them in chemicals, and he'd extort his siblings into performing sexual acts, all of which was condoned by his grandmother with not a single shred of effort to put a stop to it. Needless to say, Lake hailed from a broken home, something that only catalyzed his morbid fascinations. However, because they were left unchecked, and often encouraged, Leonard Lake's life would only spiral further and further as time began to overtake him.
Oppenheimer.
By the turn of the 80s and throughout adulthood, Leonard Lake became heavily invested in survivalism, a movement focused on preparing for severe emergencies. Notably, Lake had an undying fear of a nuclear holocaust, and on numerous occasions attempted to build safety bunkers at his residences, to varying success. In 1981, he put out an advertisement for a survivalist partner in a war game magazine in hopes of meeting someone to live with him for honestly, God knows why. The reason this is important is because this single page, this one advertisement, had led Lake to meet one of the most vile people in existence, exacerbating Lake's pre-existing morbid fantasies and leading to his status as one of the most disgusting and disturbing monsters ever to exist. The man's name was Charles Ng, a native of Hong Kong and a convict who was in and out of prison. Almost immediately, the pair hit it off, collaborating in numerous crimes like firearm theft that eventually led to their arrest and a brief stint in prison. After their release, the two settled down in a wooded town named Wilseyville, and it was here where Lake enlisted the help of various residents to build yet another bunker right next to his cabin. Inside, he'd begin stockpiling illegal weapons. However, alongside them was something that didn't exactly belong. It was equipment.
Wait.
To record video.
Is this the same guy as the other video? It's not, I don't think. Is it? No. It is! No, it's not.
Good evening. It's a Sunday on October 22nd, 23rd, something like that. Very close to my 38th birthday. And I'm starting this tape without script or without any real organization of what I want to say. This tape, what you're hearing now, is going to be the lead-in of the various phases of construction of a building, which hopefully will be the first of a series of underground buildings. The main emphasis of the building, the whole justification for its expense and its effort, will be a hidden portion of it, a secret room, if we can call it that, that will house a cell, a jail cell, if you will. And the purpose of that cell, and the main purpose, hence, of the building, will be the imprisonment of a young lady who probably at this moment is unknown to me. What I want is an off-the-shelf sex partner. I want to be able to use a woman whenever
Brother.
and however I
Bro, how long is this shit then?
And when I'm tired or satiated or
The fuck is this,
bored or not interested, I simply want to put her away, lock her up in a little room, get her out of my sight, out of my life. The advantages of such a situation are, of course, obvious and even beyond sexual. Such a woman, totally enslaved, would be useful for the mundane chores that I have to do, but I'm not particularly interested in doing. Clean house, washing dishes, etc. Slave, there's no way around it. Primarily a sexual slave, but nonetheless a physical slave as well.
For Monday, February 15th.
Hi, I'm Kyle Kraska. It's being called the creepiest crime scene in America. A remote cabin where cops say some of the most gruesome serial killings in California history took place. Well, now Ed Miller's giving you an exclusive and very disturbing look inside this house of horrors.
First, they were kidnapped, then robbed, raped, and killed. 12 innocent
Bro,
victims.
the news are always fucking absolutely boiled in their approach to this shit. It's unbelievable, my dude. Fuck the media.
The
I
real
hate this shit
reason
so much,
for his
man.
bunker wasn't solely for survivalism. That was merely a piece of it. You see, Lake and Ing had this morbid obsession with capturing. Lake claimed that he needed them to serve him after the impending nuclear holocaust, and frequently went on record to demean the existence of women entirely. And so, for years, Lake and Ing would capture, torture, inside this bunker, all the while documenting it on his myriad of VHS cameras installed inside each room. The woman we saw at the beginning of this segment wasn't just someone random, because it was Kathleen Allen. The woman who left her job because of the news of her boyfriend's death. The woman who entered the car of a stranger and was never seen again. The woman who fell right into the grasp of Leonard Lake. While the pair's main target were women, they wouldn't hold back on abducting their relatives. Often, the pair would coerce men into coming out to their bunker in hopes of work, before they'd rob them, strangle them, and steal their identities. Thereafter, they'd manipulate their families into coming to their property, much like they did with Kathleen, to which they'd lock them up in Lake's dungeon and leave them with an ultimatum. They can either serve Lake and Ing unapologetically, obeying their every command without hesitance, or they could be killed. No matter which option they chose, though, the outcome was all the same. Their lives would be brutally torn from them, with not a single soul around to help. In June of 1985, police were called to a hardware store after Charles Ing was caught trying to shoplift a device. After catching wind of the situation, Lake rushed there himself in hopes of paying for it. However, when police asked for an ID,
Yo, I don't want to be insensitive or weird. You guys, I've been saying this for a long time. This is why we need to bring back good fucking parenting. Sorry, dude.
handed over
It's
one
just how it
that
is.
looked
Sorry.
nothing like him. It was the license for Robin Stapley, a man who turned up missing just a few weeks prior. Following this, both Ing and Lake were arrested. However, just 4 days later, and while in custody, Leonard Lake would swallow cyanide pills, effectively ending his own life. Upon searching Lake's property, authorities discovered multiple vehicles belonging to their numerous victims, along with a makeshift burial site near their compound. Inside of it, they unearthed 40 pounds of crushed human bone fragments coming from what they believed to be the remains of at least 11 bodies. Inside the bunker, they find a treasure map leading to 2 buckets containing various IDs and personal belongings, and a myriad of VHS tapes depicting the torture and murder of their victims. To say that their discovery was grim is a criminal understatement, as the breadth of their crimes simply cannot be summarized in writing. The scene? Surreal. And the content on those VHS tapes? Indescribably worse. Today, Charles Ng is still alive, serving his life sentence in the San Quentin State Prison. Given his court verdict, being 12 counts of first-degree murder, it's undeniable that this man will never again see the light of day. The crimes that he and Leonard Lake committed are some of the worst in history, and the fact that they videotaped it adds that extra layer of repulsion. To this day, the tapes filmed by Charles Ng and Leonard Lake are sealed away, with no plans to ever be released. However, considering the content presumed to be on them, it's safe to say that some things are better off lost. Indefinitely.
Why, of course. Because you know the fucking weirdos fucking feed off that shit super hard. Also, dude, when I say bring back good parenting, is that these days I feel like anything bad happens, the media looks at everything except parenting, and motherfucker. Isn't there? There's a billion excuses and shit like that. Where the fuck are the parents, motherfucker? Where the fuck were the parents, man? How's that a trash take? You're an idiot.
Around 1995, I was about 15. I used to stay up late in my room listening to the radio on a boombox with an integrated tape recorder. One night I came across this. I don't think this was the beginning of the podcast. I caught a lot of it. Right at the end, an announcer says that the station I was tuned to was WKCR 89.9 New York. There were a bunch of names and dates in there. I've never run into anything else like this.
Okay, well I didn't want to sleep anyway, so whatever, dude. Lavender Town?
The creepypasta. A relic of a bygone era in internet history. The induction for many of us to online horror. Suicide Mouse, Ben Drowned, Slenderman, and Sad Satan are among some of the most notorious online horror stories in existence. However, to this day, one refuses to die. It's called Jeff the Killer, and by this point, he needs no introduction.
Dude,
the story today
I hate that jump scare.
Exactly aged very well. And to be honest, it kind of sounds like a Joker fanfiction, and it isn't very scary. But that's okay, because it wasn't exactly written for our time.
That jump scare is always way too loud, way too flashy. Aiden sent me that shit one day, I blocked him, and I haven't unblocked him since.
Jeff the Killer
that Buster
certainly
bitch ass.
That's past its time, yet it stands as somewhat of a cornerstone of online history. Contrary to all the effort put into the story, however, it's safe to say that the uncanniness of the image accompanying it was the major catalyst for its popularity online.
I thought that was the girl.
All across the early 2010s, the image was shared like wildfire. Though what most were unaware of was that it had coincidentally found itself caught in a web of both controversy and enduring mystery. And it was all based around one simple question.
No, not Momo. The girl that looks at the camera with the fucking with the stare, the meme, the old meme, obsessed girlfriend meme. Is it not? Damn. Chat, isn't it kind of similar though? If you tilt it sideways.
The story as we know it was written by an author on the creepypasta wiki named GameFuel 2000, in which its earliest known date of publication is November 21st of 2011. Curiously though, an online user going by the persona Sessoir had come forth shortly after its online explosion, claiming that, in reality, they are Jeff's creator. It's a bold claim, yet this should be relatively easy to prove. On October 3rd, 2008, a video was shared to a YouTube channel called Killer Jeff, an alias that Sessoir claims ownership of. The video is more or less a slideshow and drops bits of Jeff the Killer lore over pictures of various characters from his story. Interestingly, this upload was accompanied by a story on Newgrounds, where the same user made a post on August 10th of that same year. The story of old Jeffy. He enjoys horror, such as ghost stories or slasher films.
Bro, they always have it on screen, man.
Have you ever met him in person? This man is what other people call bizarre. He's like a Bloody Mary game, except you must perform it in the closet, turn off all the lights, and sit down cross-legged while repeating this saying 3 times while turning your head back and forth. He's in here with me. After the saying, close your eyes and call out the name Jeff.
I'm doing that shit, bitch ass mostly.
He'll appear by putting his face right up to you and proceed to yell and try to chant harm at you. To make him stop is to stand there and compliment him.
Yo, I don't believe in ghosts, okay? But it's like airplanes and fucking religion, okay? When the fucking thing starts shaking, you know the meme where everybody starts praying, even though they're not religious? Same with this shit. I don't believe in fucking ghosts. When it's time to fucking summon them and say, dude, do the spin thing and do the invocation. I don't give a fuck if I don't believe in it, dude. Fuck, I ain't do that shit, bitch ass.
And not doing so will result in a nightmarish field trip. Okay, so there we have it. Sessoir is the creator of Jeff the Killer, as they bear proof of the earliest rendition of utilizing both his name and image. With this in mind, surely they should have that picture unedited, right? In December of 2015, fellow creator Scare Theater got in contact with Sessoir. He asked them a plethora of questions, like, what inspired you? Why do you call him Jeff? And did you ever expect him to become so well known? All granting thought-provoking insight into the creator of this online behemoth. Interestingly though, in one of them, Scare Theater presses Sessoir about the origins of the Jeff image, to which they respond, stating, the picture was made using a white latex mask and some big plastic eyes, with red rubber substance that simulated blinking. There was also a black ring around the eyes that were on, covering the exposed red eyelid. After it was made, 2 or 3 photos were taken and posted, and the rest is history. Well, just like that, mystery solved. Sessoir crafted something that scared millions online, and did it with none other than a latex mask and some fake eyes.
Okay.
So, good on them.
Is it? Oh, is that the end of the story?
Shortly after Sessoir's interview, a video was found on a YouTube channel called Dark Knight. It was uploaded on the 2nd of August 2007 and is titled NNN Special Broadcast. Purportedly, it's based upon a Japanese urban legend surrounding a scrolling list of names at around 3 in the morning, when no one should be watching.
At 3 in the
morning.
morning.
The list is said to be accompanied by horrific imagery and bizarre sounds, before, at the very end, it states that these names are tomorrow's sacrifice. It's definitely some Local 58 stuff if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, Local
but
58
that
classic.
notion isn't the reason we're here tonight. You see, at the very end of this video, Dark Knight sneaks in a small surprise, turning everything we thought we knew about Jeff the Killer on its head.
Bruh moment. Dude, why? Dude, fuck this shit. I hate this fucking thing, man. I don't give a fuck. It's just an image, dude. It's a soy boy. I don't give a fuck, bitch. I hate that image. Fuck you.
It was here when it was realized that Sessoir was a fraud. He lied when everyone was taking his word at face value.
Classic
Not
Redditor.
only that, Jeff the Killer's image likely didn't even originate from our side of the world, as evidence from an unsuspecting website began to surface in the coming months.
Dude, man.
Where did this image come from, and what did the original version even look like? If Jeff the Killer were hidden within this video, unknown to the entire world, just sitting here since 2007, waiting to be found, there was bound to be more about him out there. By 2018, investigators made their way to a now defunct Japanese message board named pia.cc. It's your run-of-the-mill website containing blog posts and online discussion. However, way back in 2005, hidden away inside an otherwise innocuous and highly obscure post, again, was him. This photo was uploaded on the 15th of November by a user named Omega Bolt. However, to this day, contact with them.
Guys, he keeps looking at me, dude.
They have seemingly fallen off the face of the earth, effectively becoming just as obscure as Jeff's origin itself. Aside from that, though, this discovery was far from a dead end, as once this photo was run through an EXIF data analyzer, it was found that its file name is Pretty Face. Interesting, considering that just a few weeks later, they found him again. For the very first time, an alternate, less modified version of Jeff the Killer was uncovered, named White Powder 2. It was uploaded by a user named Mr. Mulholland, and in their version, were able to make out minute details that were otherwise shrouded by Photoshop. The mouth is no longer distorted. The facial accents, gone, and the previously foreboding eyes are replaced by an alternative. Contrary to Omega Bolt, though, Mr. Mulholland was actually tracked down and contacted via Twitter. There, they claimed that they saw the image before it was edited and believed that it, to their memory, came from an online video of an Asian woman inside her home. Purportedly, her face was extremely pale.
Another troll, watch this.
Screen caps of her were passed around Japanese message boards as surprise images in the mid-2000s. They further state that they don't have the original image, believes that it no longer exists on the internet, and speculates that it may come from a TV show named Honto Niata Noroi no Video. Since this revelation, every episode made from 1999 to 2005 have been thoroughly searched, yet a match has never been found.
Okay.
But there is one more, to this day, regarded as the oldest sighting of Jeff the Killer. On the homepage of a website named fileman.n1e.jp, resting innocuously among images of puppies and waifus, was version 1, captured on July 24th of 2005. The only clues that accompany this are the caption, "Fear of a Summer Night," and once clicked, a descriptor claims this photo is, quote, a celebrity before plastic surgery. Aside from this, no further context is given.
What?
To be honest, we could do this all day, because since the hunt began, there have been hundreds of sightings of Jeff the Killer online, all predating Sessoir's original story. Over the years, there have been quite a handful of original image contenders that have gained considerable traction, most notably with the widespread hoax.
So how is this? Can this be a fucking meme around for so long somewhere else, and it be completely taken over? Of course, by Reddit or some shit, and I made this, guys, and it took so long for him to debunk that it wasn't made. When there's all of this before.
Gained considerable traction, most notably with the widespread hoax involving a woman who doesn't even exist. It's safe to say that this surge has had its fair share of controversy, yet that hasn't slowed the decade-long resilience of those trying to investigate this. This is one of the longest-running internet mysteries of all time, and if I'm being honest, it may never find a resolution. Other versions of Jeff are discovered, yet they bear more edits than version 1. Rumors circulate about it being a photo in a set of 3, yet no proof has ever surfaced. And almost daily, those with too much free time are creating their own version of the original image and are touting it as the real thing. Sometimes the existence of an enduring mystery brings life enduring fascination. There's something hauntingly captivating about topics that seem unsolvable,
Yeah, like the
especially
S.
in the modern day.
The 6-line S.
In a perfect world, the existence of the internet should mark the death of all things mysterious, as at a moment's notice, every action taking place on this earth theoretically should have some sort of readily accessible answer. I'm glad that's not the case though, as Jeff the Killer has given the modern internet just that small hint of mystifying intrigue. And it's based around a question so simple. It's quite literally the product of someone who knows someone who knows someone who took this photo, yet they, to this day, have never come forward.
Oh, they found it, the original S?
Maybe it's a language barrier. Perhaps they've passed away. Maybe they live under a rock and have absolutely no idea that the simple picture they took on a random day pre-2005 is now subject to one of the largest internet hunts in recent history. Regardless of where this person is, Jeff the Killer in some capacity has stood the test of time, and whether his identity is ever actually found, he will forever remain embedded within online conversation, always regarded an enigmatic paradox, effectively immortalized as one of the most recognizable yet completely unknown internet urban legends
Yeah, we watched the S video.
ever to exist.
Alright. Ah, don't do it! Pussy! I muted, I don't give a fuck. Man, if you jump scared, man, I swear I would have fucking reported the channel, I don't give a fuck. I would have brigated that shit to a crisp.
Microsoft, why not use your connections? The people who made your PC fast and reliable with Windows now do the same for your internet connections.
Alright, we did this last time, and we're gonna do it again here. Before we begin this next segment, I'd like to state that this next entry may be nothing at all. I could be reading way too much into it, but the following topic is something that's personally haunted me for years, even though it's relatively simple conceptually. With that being said, this section does involve heavily disturbing imagery, so if that type of thing bothers you, viewer discretion is strongly advised.
Huh?
Let us begin. The Internet.
That is scary.
A frontier that found
Netscape.
mainstream popularity at the turn of the millennium. A seemingly endless repository of history, culture, and conversation. Throughout the years, the rise of the internet has given the world an outlet for expression, a vehicle for humor, and so a little-known phenomenon known as the meme was born.
I have a hotel.
This is not the best way to eat a cupcake. I just found this out. You take the bottom part, put it on top. You don't get messy. It's so much better.
Okay.
I'm going to dive into their cultural significance, as I'm pretty sure you're all aware of what they are. The reason I bring them up tonight, however, is because there's one out there that has stood out to me ever since I first heard about it on Reddit 2.5 years ago. Now, before we continue, I want you to know that I've gone back and forth on covering this topic for years now. I've scripted this out, then scrapped it, then threw it in an iceberg I wrote, then trashed it. I don't quite know where or how this fits on my channel.
I'll
if
give
you
it a
catch my
chance.
drift.
No, I don't get it. Why? Because it's tall.
It is creepy. October 26th of 2020. I believe this popular meme is an image from a snuff film. Hopefully you guys can prove me wrong. Hello there. Please let me know if this isn't the right place to post this. I've seen this meme being posted around for quite a long time, usually with drinking related titles, as if the person lying on the grass is just blacked out drunk. Now, I'll never forget a video I saw on the deep web about 8 years ago that showed two Russian guys messing around with the body of a woman, inserting a kitchen knife on her face, and other terribly atrocious things, all while talking and laughing. Whenever I see this meme, I think of this video, and after taking a good look at the picture, I believe it can actually be a frame from it. The video takes place in a very similar setting, the concrete well and the grass surrounding it. However, it could very well be that I'm misremembering it. The questions I'm left with are, does anybody know about the origin of this photo?
Yeah, what?
Is there anyone here who's familiar with the clip I've talked about? And if so, could this be from it? I definitely don't remember well enough to be sure whether it's the same or not.
What
I know I
meme
could
is
just
that?
check it out myself, but I'm committed to never searching for this kind of content again. I hope some of you guys can help with this. Thank you. Shout out to the days when you said you were at a sleepover, but you were actually dying in a field from alcohol poisoning. This is the image.
What face? What meme is that? I don't think I've seen that meme.
A year ago, I discussed a similar mystery in a segment about Corey Feldman, and within the very same day my video went public, you guys were able to dig up its source. Because of this, I've decided to quit sitting on this one, because this one photo has legitimately bothered me from the first moment I saw it. As we can see, we have what appears to be a person with white hair lying face down in a field of tall grass.
Or a bag over their head.
Large long-sleeve shirts, dark blue jeans, and boots. Their body lies in a fashion that appears limp, and this entire image is engulfed in VHS degradation, implying that it came from some sort of old video. To their left appears to be a concrete pad, and on top of it seems to be some sort of metallic object. Aside from this, there are no further identifying features in this photo. No age range, no location, no reference for height, not even confirmation that this person is alive. At all. Reverse searching this meme brings up a whole lot of nothing, besides the fact that the earliest archived version of it came from a Blogspot post in 2016. It also seemed to be copied from another source, as compression artifacts are present, even on this image from nearly a decade ago. Reverse searching the photo itself gives us more of the same. However, upon pivoting to Yandex, I did discover an interesting trend.
UK memes. Funniest EU meme out there.
Curiously, there's a myriad of images of people lying in a field, appearing limp, much like the photo we're investigating, though they're all labeled with captions that appear mostly innocent. Russian youth having fun. This guy's tired of the sun. Hero risks his life to save a dog, what have you. But where things really get funky is when we look at this one, in which we can see a body lying in a very similar manner as ours.
Like all of them? Huh? That's not even true.
There's no further context to this video aside from its title, which translates to Dying Swan, and there are no other relevant videos on our channel. Now, the reason I bring this up is because, out of context, this image looks just as haunting as ours. However, it appears to be nothing more than a screen grab from an old, obscure prank.
Oh, it's a prank.
I'm not saying that this image is something just as lighthearted. However, the possibility's there.
Well, I don't get it.
So where is this image from? And what's its context? How did this end up in a meme throughout the mid-2010s? And who created it? These are the questions that have bothered me for nearly 3 years now. And this is where I need your help to figure this out.
What?
Who is the woman in the field?
I don't get it.
Tonight, you and I dove into 5 more of the darkest pieces of lost media I could find. As we can see, there's no shortage of obscure, disturbing content like this, and I hope you all enjoyed this trip down the dark side of the internet as much as I enjoyed making it.
There's no data.
If you have any suggestions for future entries for this series, feel free to submit them at dtfaisubmissions@gmail.com. Thank you guys.
Yeah, the thing is that a lot of message boards and forums don't exist anymore. So there's gonna be a lot of lost media from the old days. That's just how the internet works. Now there's Wayback Machines. Now there's like a bunch of ways to get data back. Back in the days, there's a bunch of ways that data could just be gone forever. Just like back in the days when we used to upload like videos, we had to fucking scrape it off the fucking tape and upload and get it to fucking Movie Maker and shit and post on some shit. And then after that, it's gone. It's gone forever. There's no backup or cloud or Apple bullshit. It was physical form.
Thanks so
After that,
much
it's
for
just
watching.
gone.
I'll see you in the next one. I love you all. And good night.
I enjoyed it.
Yo, this is X on the
Yeah.
beat, yo.
Okay.
Okay,
Hear my voice as well.
that ass.
Anyone knows that boy? I don't know, he's just so soy. Anyone knows that boy? I don't know, he's just so soy.